What's up guys, Matt Bryers here from Channel Fight Masterclass and TRITAC Martial Arts. And today we're looking at one of our favorite series in TRITAC is the elbow series. And we're going to run through a bunch of different flows as well as technical breakdowns on how you can do basically all the elbows and then put them together in drills for yourself to develop, whether solo or with a partner. We'll also get into a little bit of TRITAC framing, which we're really known for, is we start bracing our hands together to generate power as well as close the distance and use a variety of different elbows that way too. So enjoy. Remember to subscribe to TRITAC Martial Arts on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and follow Channel Fight on the same platforms. Thanks for watching. All right, let's start breaking down our first flow, and we're going to use a 5 or 6 hit combination if we include the jab. We'll use our jab to set up 5 different elbows into a very, kind of an extended combination. Now, the goal of this combination is not that I expect you to use all 6 of these beats in one series, but kind of teach you how to use the different elbows in different positions that we're in. I'll throw my jab first, get his hands. Now I'm going to throw a reverse ascending elbow, so I'm going to step forward a little bit because now we're at medium range and go to short range. So I throw my jab, step, then I have my reverse ascending elbow, then my direct elbow comes right after that. Bam. Now once I throw my direct elbow, I'm going to turn in and throw my horizontal elbow like I'm throwing a left hook. Boom. Now my right elbow is going to come down over the top like I'm throwing an overhand right diagonal descending. Bam. All right. Now the last piece is the fun one. We're going to add a spinning elbow. So I'm going to take my right foot, step to his right foot, look over my shoulder, and drop the elbow. So again, my jab, reverse ascending, direct, horizontal, diagonal descending, walk through. One more time. Boom, boom. Okay, I'll let Leon get a few shots in there. Jab, boom, direct, horizontal, diagonal, walk through. Bam. Nice. Again. These forearm pads make a huge help. It does suck getting your arms beaten up in forearms from the elbows, but be honest, you kind of need a partner to kind of catch the feel of it first. So let's now go to mitts and show you how you can rep it out in mitts. Actually, before we go to mitts, Leon was doing something well in his last flow, that he was keeping up his footwork with me. He wasn't just doing it static. Like as he was beating me down with those elbows, he was continually moving his feet forward. So I kind of put you on the spot again, right? Now you got to think about it. And just kind of watch how he sticks to me a little bit. It's really nice that it's not just in static. He's just getting his feet active with his elbows, keeping in his distance and his range. We talked briefly about it. But when we're in punching range, well, I'm not in elbow range. So I have to keep up with my opponent and stick to him as we're using these elbows in a combination. Just start off with jab, boom. Now I'm going to put my mitt like an uppercut. He's going to come in with that reverse ascending. I give him a little tap when he feels it, okay? Now I'm going to put my other mitt here. He hits that direct. Now I'm holding it like a left hook, horizontal. Now flipping it, almost like holding a tray of food. He comes over the top, boom. Now I take a step backwards with my left leg and put both mitts in front of my face and let him come in. Bam. Again. Yes, jab, direct, horizontal, descending, bam. When you are doing this, especially with that spinning elbow, the spinning elbow contains a lot of momentum. And as a mid holder, you really want to get the fuck out of the way. Make sure you're not taking a full forearm to the face, okay? So again, jab, nice. One more time. Nice job, very good job. These next 2 flows, we're gonna go from a neutral reference, which means our opponent is just in a fighting guard, whether it's a self-defense situation, they're coming at you and you're forced to fight your opponent, or you're in a cage fight and you need to use some elbows. All right, so first, actually, why don't you come over here so it'll be a little easier, camera sync. We're gonna work on trapping his rear guard or his rear hand, all right? And our hand position we would call our fence, which is a little longer guard. I'm not kind of tucked in like a standard MMA fighter or a boxer. My hands are a little long, a little open, and I look to trap down. I can come at both hands at once, or I can just work for the lead side at once. No matter what, I'm gonna circle a little bit to my left, all right? And I have to make sure that as I'm circling to the left, you know, that I'm not gonna just walk into a right hand, so my hands have to be up. I'm not gonna circle like here and get knocked the fuck out. So my hands are up as a circle, I trap. All right, now my lead hand's gonna fold right over the top for a horizontal elbow. Now my right hand is loaded, it just drives right in for direct elbow. My hand, because it came over the top, is already gonna feed underneath for an underhook. I'm gonna add a knee, bring my foot down and swing a little bit. Bring my foot down, and then I'm gonna push his head away, then throw a replacement elbow. Bam. Come back, and then I get his arm right on my shoulder, and we're gonna go, this could either be a takedown, or for a true self-defense survival situation, arm snap, or just bring him down to the ground. Sorry, buddy, you didn't know that was gonna happen. Yep. Okay, I'll do it from this side now. Those hands are up, trap elbow. Direct elbow, swim for your underhook, throw a knee in there, back step. I can carry him out a little bit, kind of get him moving. Throw that replacement elbow in there. If I need to get on my shoulder, let's do a little shoulder roll, hike it up, two hands right over the elbow joint, then snap. Or it turns into takedown, front headlock, other type of options if you're more of a sportive environment compared to, you know, self-defense situation where you might actually snap someone's arm. You probably don't want to do that in a May fight. Just, I guess you could, just cut it, sit there. Boom, bang, boom, fold underneath. Knee, replacement elbow, hike it up, elbow snap. All right, your turn. Shots rear, walk your elbow, boom, knee, replacement, arm snap. Let's now look at trapping our opponent's lead and following up with an elbow. Similar to what we did on the other side, we came in on the rear, his rear side, now we're coming on his lead side. The difference is this, we're gonna add what we call a walk-through step. I'm gonna walk forward as I trap and hit my elbow, and you'll see how it works out. So, here we go. I'm in my fence position again. I'm now gonna use my rear hand to trap as I connect it to my right foot. Now as my right foot plants, bam, that's my first elbow. I'm keeping a nice solid frame. Now my left elbow goes right up the middle. And here we are again with this inside reference. So my arm's gonna come through, I hit my knee again. Elbows and knees always fit really well together. All right, I'm gonna spin you a little bit. So the first one, I'm gonna do a takedown. Leon's gonna do an extra elbow. But from this position, if I get a good knee, and I get my opponent's posture down, we're gonna flip the hand to like a reverse C grip. And I'm gonna step to the outside, elevate my arm. Leon just kind of falls right down into knee on belly position. Boom, walking that in. And make sure, sometimes when we were training this with my students, someone had a habit of coming to the inside. Well, if I miss my elbow, or over, I'm especially exposing my back to my opponent, okay? So make sure we are taking our walk-through steps, that we are coming outside line. Just like if I was a southpaw versus orthodox, whoever's owning that outside line is really gonna be the one who's in dominant or control the movement, control the fight. So I wanna make sure that I walk in, I'm on that outside line. So, boom, foot on the outside, there's my elbow, another elbow, drop it in, knee, step forward, and tap that rear, walking in, elbow, elbow. My hand's already on the inside, fold over, frame his head, so important, keeping him away from me. I don't want to be nice and tight here, we want to spread him out. That's why those knees work so well. Like beating his posture down. Be aware, if my opponent's tall, I want to reach over his head, all he does is take my back again. Oh, shit. All right, so I need my opponent's posture broken down. Just flip your hand, walk it in. I'll show you what Leon's gonna do next. Why don't you come over here? Like we were just talking off camera, you know, that as a martial artist, when you start doing these flows, these drills, same thing I say to my students, like these are just templates to use. Eventually, you should make them your own. So you always have your own flavor. I gave you an entrance, a couple things to work off of, then what else you can do. A lot of my MMA guys also, you know, like to integrate a lot of double legs, single legs, back takes, because the elbows flow nicely to that position. Leon was just doing a nice little elbow series, or kind of disconnected, throwing different type of elbows after the engagement, because he likes hitting people too. He likes to hit you, but hitting people's fun. So I'll kind of show you what he's gonna do first. Same thing, trap it in, walk, elbow, frame through, knee. Now, we're in this position, we want to bail on our underhook, just kind of get out of the situation, may feel he's strong. I'm gonna circle a little bit, and I'm gonna line up my elbow to his face, okay? Now I can throw direct, descending, walking through, whatever the martial artist at that time decides to do. Is to use that left hand as a frame, keep his face away, kind of line him up, and then throw a nice elbow. Boom. Knee, clamps away, lines it up, and blasts. Way blasted in, elbow, really important when we do this, that again I talk a lot of my students, our hands have to be in a higher position. A lot of people just want to get lazy or tired, get very comfortable having their hands low. You want to have your hands almost above your eyebrows in this one. I'm coming down, right? We're coming down. It's a really important concept here. Don't be afraid to move your feet. You have to move your feet on these entries. I can't just be trapping and reaching. I have to start moving in off my traps to get to my elbows. A little offense now. We're gonna use our jab to set up our elbows. Very similar to the first flow we did. And we're gonna start off with our jab, rear direct, and then our lead horizontal, and then get into a single collar tie. Then use a variety of elbows from there. So let's look at the start. I got my jab. Now a big step through, boom, hitting that rear direct elbow, horizontal elbow. Now instead of throwing an elbow with my right hand, I'm gonna come crashing down on the opposite side of his head. Boom, and look for a single collar tie, right? Right off the bat, when we get to this position, I can have these direct elbows. I can also then pull his head to the other side, and I have wing elbows, right? Wing elbows are great, sorry about that. Wing elbows are just like they happen right there, are just great to kind of, just so you can see from this camera angle. Look at his hands are up. They sneak around into like the little small spots, okay? A nice little tool if you are in a single collar tie to use your wing elbows. So let's look at that again. We have our jab, rear direct, lead horizontal, and now I'm just gonna make a single collar tie. Boom. Let's say start off nice and tight here, all right? I can first use a wing elbow, bam, kind of open them up, then wave off, get my direct. Or I'm nice and tight, I use my wing elbow to actually switch my hand position. Bam. Now I'm on the other side. I have my elbows again. So if we get that top single collar tie position, our opponent's posture is a little bit compromised, and I have his head lined up there, all those elbows start coming into play off that single collar tie. So let's do it from this side. So I have my jab, rear direct, lead horizontal, drop down, boom, wing elbow, wave off, direct elbow, come to the other side, direct elbow, wing elbow. You start getting this feeling of moving your opponent around. When we are in a single collar tie and I want to wave him off, you have to remember, we use like a fish hook, upside down fish hook around his neck. And it's really important my elbow stays in his center line, right? My elbow is high, I'm basically giving him my back and other things. So when we want to wave my opponent off to the other side, I don't push him away, I just use my hip mechanics, like I'm throwing across, and that gets his head over there to open it up. Now I want to bring it to the other side, clamp on it, shuffle my feet, and now I'm on the other side. I can bring it to that shoulder and hit those wing elbows too. So obviously single collar tie is really fun a lot in wrestling, in the grappling arts, but when you're integrating, your dirty boxing, you're integrating your elbows with your grappling, it becomes really something special. Look at Randy Couture, he was, back in the day when he was fighting, he was a master of dirty boxing. He would get a single collar tie on someone, he'd use a little bit of elbows, but he was really known for his uppercuts, hooks, and his right hands off the single collar tie. So great tool to roll some elbows, throw some elbows, throwing elbows today. Your jab, boom, rear direct, lead horizontal. Now the thing, I'll come over the top again, a single collar tie. Good. If I stay kind of right here, now you can just throw that wing elbow. Yeah, from the outside, bam, that's it, right? Or start throwing across that way. Yeah, that's it, now your direct elbow, or horizontal, whatever you feel is necessary. Now you make a clinch on, now come to the other side, make a tie clinch, and walk your feet on, there you go. Bam, bam, I square up to you, there's your wing elbows again. Go. Nice. Jab going, boom, rear direct, lead horizontal, bam, make a clinch. Okay, I came over here, bam, bam, you wave it off, good. Nice. Yeah, the more dirty you can get in that clinch, the more control, the more things you're throwing is going to make obviously your opponent suffer, but also if you're a grappler or looking to advance positions in a fight, it's going to give you a lot of those opportunities. Hell, it might just finish the fight too. All right, let's go to our next flow. Okay, let's get another offensive one that's a little MMA related. Not a little MMA, it's highly MMA related. we like to use, especially if I'm a wrestler-based fighter and I want to attack single legs, well, I really want his lead leg. The problem is with orthodox versus orthodox stance, his lead leg is pretty far away from me. And I want a single leg, I want to be in this position. So we're going to use our elbow almost thrown like an overhand right to mask our footwork, get our opponent a little off balance so we can get that single leg and then have a simple finish. So I'll start with my jab again. Now I'm going to throw a diagonal descending right elbow with a walk through, very similar to me throwing an overhand right. Boom. Now I'm just going to draw my level, come in for that snatch single. A couple simple finishes from here. When we are in this position, make sure we are pinching tight. Our head is in the center. We don't bring our head away and get choked, but we don't have it disconnected from our body so we can cross knees or hit. And I'm driving right to the center, right? One of the simplest ones, one of my favorites, is a simple knee pick. I'm gonna keep my right hand, which is my dominant arm, on the leg, take a step forward with my left leg, pick the knee, run them down, and then you're in a great position to pass the guard, drop that loose. For my jab, diagonal, descending diagonal, follow down, boom, come up. Now I run the pipe, I'm trying to keep my chin, my chest on top of his knee. I'm just gonna start circling my feet this way, bowing down, stuffing his leg. Pass them, and finish. So I got my jab, walk through, level chain, run the pipe, pass the guard. I want to go a little old school. And old school by means we're going to use a little brace frames. In our TRITAC system, especially way back in the beginning, the inception of TRITAC, we had a lot of brace frames that are essentially these elbows with our hands connected together. Frame 2, frame 1, frame 3, all that shit. Nothing wrong with them. They're actually great. We're using them now. You probably just don't realize it. But sometimes, not all the time, we're going to bring our hands together. This doesn't make sense, especially when elbows are meant to be with more free flow. They're not always meant to be locked down. But in a defensive position, when someone's coming after us with a haymaker or something, or a big looping attack, it doesn't hurt to use your brace frame. So I want you to come over here, Leon. Let's start off with a haymaker, and we're gonna enter in with frame 2. Frame 2 would technically be this position. What I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna enter in with a direct elbow on my lead side to his shoulder, and then try to find his face with my right elbow. At the end, my hands would kind of be in this position, AKA frame 2, okay? So nice and slow. I was just throwing a haymaker, I'm entering, bam, and we're just gonna look to connect my forearm or my elbow on the inside of it. Now I'm not trying to like aim, oh I gotta hit that fucking thing right there. No, I'm just trying to fit my body inside there. Because my hands are up where they should be, and he's punching at that level, my body runs into it. Great, okay? Same thing with my right elbow. As I'm entering in, I'm just putting my right elbow where his face might be or should be, around this height, and I'm just gonna step into it. That's gonna give me the defense, but also get some offense as well. So, I hate to use them as a reference, but why not? I used to train a system called Defense Lab, DNA Fight Science, very long name, but DNA stands for defense and attack, and I like the principle of that because simultaneously I am defending against a punch, but I'm also getting a shot in at the same time to further disrupt what happens. So as he throws that haymaker, boom, we enter in, and now we call it opening hammers. I'm just gonna hammer, bam, sorry about that. I'm gonna hammer right at his face, so I'm just gonna go here, disconnect. Boom, disconnect and grab. Now we're right back to the reference we worked on in other flows. We have this underhook position, tight control, we're gonna hit our knee, and then go right to an arm break again. Now, a little old school again, then I'm actually gonna use a frame to break his arm. I gotta go very slow on this, but I'm just gonna now make an elbow and brace into that, okay? Old school Cobra Kai Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, I'd roll it over and break it down. But if you feel the elbow caught right there, boom, it's a quick snap and it'll do the trick. Worst case scenario, they roll the arm, they turn away from you, which just opens up into a whole other series of techniques. So again, let's do it from this side. I enter in, boom, hit, opening. Of course, at any point in time, I can add knees, I can have my direct elbows, but now I'm just gonna switch my frame to the other side, bam, and break that elbow. One more time. Enters in, boom, open, knee. You wanna try that? Don't fuck up my elbow. So, yeah, sure. So you're gonna end in with that one's gonna be up. That's frame 1. So, Leon, now there's nothing wrong with this. If we're gonna go back to being technical again. You know, frame one back in the day was I hate doing this side because my shoulder's fucked up, but my hand would be on the outside of my arm, and that would be our frame on this side. The difference with frame two and frame one is that the hand just travels on the inside. So it's like I'm throwing a horizontal elbow on frame two, and on frame one, I'm doing an ascending diagonal elbow. So if you kind of look at the trajectory, this is frame one, this is frame two. Both are correct. Me personally being a little thicker guy and having some fucked up issues in this area, it's harder for me to feel very tight on my left side frame. But if I put in frame two, I'm actually able to feel tighter and I kind of close the gaps off, which for some people is a little easier. So it really depends on the martial artist, which aspect or which frame they would like to use in this situation. Okay, so I'm throwing my haymaker, he enters in, boom, opens up. So now he's gonna drop his left hand, opens up, here's his knee, bam, and now he's gonna switch a big brace on this side, so they want to go diagonal frame, yep, that's it. And especially, because my elbow, Leon's actually pretty mobile and has a lot of dexterity in his joints, he gets on fucking everything, it's really annoying. But in a good way, in a good way. Very defensive martial artist and very talented martial artist. But when I finished, he had me here, you see my elbow was pointing that way, which is perfect for this situation because when his elbow's now gonna travel, bam, and then it's gonna snap right there. So really brutal. And if the person doesn't go down, a person like doesn't like learn how to roll it, yeah, you're fucking snapping your arm. My instructor, Shian Russ St. Hilaire, loved him more than anything else in the world, but did snap my arm with something very similar to this when you're doing a gun defense scenario where you're both just in the flow of it, in the mood of it, and he got a little excited, basically with the exact same technique, a little different, but snapped my elbow 6 months out. Oh, fucking nightmare. Right here. We're using a stick right now, we call it a club in our charts, but it could be anything. It could be stick, fucking lamp, I don't know, anything you can have that can be swung at your head in a self-defense situation or life to death situation, that's what we're defending against. And our technique's a little different. We call it the jam, though I've seen this type of, I don't call it guard, defensive mechanism used in a variety of different martial arts. I think in Thai boxing they call it Draculina or something like that. But it's an interesting position where I'm gonna almost like throw a jab, and then my right hand is gonna be behind it, and I'm gonna use that to fit on the inside of his shoulder as he's swinging the club on my head, and then get a right elbow. So yeah, why don't you start there. So as Leon's swinging the club, I'm gonna step in. And I'm using it almost like I'm gonna like hide myself, and almost like kind of like throwing a left hook in it, and kind of like sliding my body in, and then getting my arm over, and then here comes my right elbow. But with my right elbow, I'm gonna make a little bit step to the outside, and then clamp on his arm. Boom. Right? Let's look at that again. So this is important. This is where the elbow really comes in, right? So as he throws in, I enter in, then I'm gonna re-step to the outside, clamp on his arm to throw my elbow. Bam. Now I'm using that elbow, you can see, to really force Leon's head off balance. I've got this nice bend in his back, all my energy's forward. I've got the stick nice and controlled. My right leg comes through the hole, trips him, boom. Keep on it, break the arm. I missed the stick. And hypothetically catch a stick if you're cool at the end. It wasn't that cool. So again, this side. He enters in, he throws that stick, boom. Step in, elbow, reinforce it, trip. Over here. This is actually directly off our Japanese jiu-jitsu charts. It's just a great technique. I think it's really effective, especially if you got that forward momentum coming in and you fit right in that spot. Nail a nice clean elbow. Osoto Gary shows up really well from that because I'm gonna do such a good job at off balancing. All right, so one more time. Fit in there, elbow, Osoto Gary.